What is going on, y'all? Welcome back. The NFL season is less than 24 hours away at this moment, at the time we're recording. This will be out before the game starts. Crazy stuff. We got some big time guys playing tomorrow night. We got Von Miller going up against his former team from half a season. We got Stephon Diggs. We got Josh Allen, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp. You name it. There's a star out there. I believe that out in LA on Thursday night. So that's going to be a great kickoff. But we got to come to you with our season predictions before, the season starts, because otherwise it would just be some fraudulent stuff. So we got to bring it to you. First of all, how are we doing? We all excited?
100%.
Sensational.
We cannot wait, bro. Football's back, baby.
Let's go.
I'm just like itching, bro. I'm like, I can't wait.
I know. I got two guys playing tomorrow night, so my fantasy team will definitely be getting stocked all night.
Yep. I got money on Cup. Cup better get a touchdown. I swear to God.
On God. Everyone pray for Jose. But we're going to dig
Give me a new computer.
straight into this. We bring it at you with our awards prediction, what the NFL honors is going to be looking like. So let's get away with it. Talking Coach of the Year. Typically, it doesn't always go to the team with the best record, but rather a team that kind of defies the odds, or, just the coach really proves themselves in this season. I think we all got kind of varying candidates amongst this. So I'll dive in first. All of our odds we're providing today are from Vegas Insider, just to stay consistent. So my pick, I got Brandon Staley of the Chargers, odds on favorite at plus 1,400 right now. I mean, kind of a lame pick, you might say. I mean, he's the guy who's commanding one of the most star-powered teams in all of football. He's got Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. Don't forget they got some real good depth out there in the D-line as well. Besides that,
J.C. Jackson, they got him too.
J.C. Jackson, Derwin James on a new contract. We're in that number 3. He ain't triple 3 anymore. He DJ 3. We got another season of Murray. Then looking at the offense, you got one of the most electrifying players in football in Justin Herbert. Shout out Oregon, though, but we don't need to get into that, though. Austin Eckler. We got Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. We got all pros on the front line. All I know is I think Brandon Staley, he knew he should have called that damn timeout last year. He knows we got to learn mistakes. He's got the defense that he needs to put his schemes in place. I think this offense, we'll go into some more predictions later, but give me the Chargers. I think they win the division. I think it's going to be neck and neck between the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Chiefs, but I think they'll edge them out, actually. So maybe about 13-4. That's my record prediction. So let's move on. Carson, I like this pick. I actually like both your guys' picks, of course, but Carson, tell me about your guy. Mr. Offensive.
Yeah, so I went with Super Bowl winning offensive coordinator of the Rams, Kevin O'Connell. He's on, head coach of the Vikings now. I was very tempted to go with Sean McDermott just because, it's like a chalk, easy pick. Everyone expects the Bills to be really good. Or, the Broncos new head coach, Nathaniel Hackett, just because with Russ coming in, if they're finally like really, really good, like we all, expect them to be, it'd be a lot of fun, but also Russ would get a lot of credit. But the reason I picked Kevin O'Connell is just because I'm just really high on the Vikings. Not necessarily as like a playoff contender or anything, like, not a Super Bowl pick. I just think they could be like a regular season, like offensive juggernaut. Yeah, exactly. Because at the end of the day, Kirk Cousins is their quarterback, and I'm not really trusting him in the playoffs. But regular season, I mean, they should be cooking. Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook. Cousins is still a really, really solid quarterback, above average. First of all, the jump from going from Mike Zimmer, who has been a corpse the last couple years, has actually been terrible. He's lost them a ton of games, like close games, just from his BS calls, and upgrading to a guy that was the OC on some really great Rams offenses the last couple of years. I mean, literally won the Super Bowl last year. Just that upgrade alone was super juicy for me. And if they can just go from, they were 8-9 last year, and if they can get to at least 10 wins in a playoff spot, and then talk about winning the division. I think that would seal it for Kevin O'Connell to be, potentially coach of the year. So that's who I'm going with in his first season.
All right.
Yeah, I can see that. That Rams tree is spreading out, influencing the NFL like a lot.
It's crazy because McVay is so young and he already has he's got the little tree already. Like all the great coaches do, they have the little tree just kind of spreading out throughout the rest
You forgot where that tree come from though. And another guy part of that main tree is Jose's pick in McDaniel because the Shanahan tree where it at though. That's all we know.
The Shanahan tree, baby.
Shout out the Shanahan tree, but McDaniel, man, I think he's got just as good of a chance as any other coach in this kind of chalk that we've picked. I mean, outside of the Bills, like this team could be first or second. I could definitely see them double-digit wins this season as long as they figure it out on offense. Like they are going to be a nice team. They've got a ton of speed. They added Cedric Wilson from my Cowboys, who we know is a speedster. Trent Sherfield from your Niners, who's also a speedster. Obviously, they've got Tyreek. We know they have Waddle. They added Chase Edmonds, who's one of the best receiving backs in the league. Like, it's really just Tua. Tua is like the biggest kind of what if there. He needs to solidify himself, just kind of take over the reins of this team and lead this team to the playoffs, man. Tua, I want to see this Dolphins team in the playoffs. Like Tua, Javon Holland, Tyreek, Jalen Waddle. Like, it's just gonna be such a fun squad, and Mike McDaniel is just like a fun pick. Like, I got this picture here. I don't know. We can probably just edit in post, but
yeah,
he's just like such a fun guy,
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, I got my tie there. We got our first round pick, Jalen Phillips, over there from a couple years ago. But shout out Mike McDaniels. They threw out the depth chart. I think maybe 2 days ago. Looks like they're going to be starting kind of a 2 running back scheme out there, which if anyone knows anything about the Dolphins, the one thing that's been holding them back for years now is they don't have any effing running game. Like if a dude runs for 100 yards in the Dolphins uniform, like he's patronized. Like he's like the GOAT of the Dolphins. They don't get anyone that runs for 1,000 yards. I mean, 100 yards. Nonetheless, 1,000 yards in the season. Like Ryan Fitzpatrick led that team a couple years ago. Now you got Edmonds, you got Mostert. You got
Mostert. You still have Gaskin.
Yeah, that's a nice little group there. So definitely got the keys to success out there. So Jose, I'll just hand it back off to you because we got the same pick for Offensive Rookie of the Year. We get the boy from USC. Take it away.
Yep. He was literally just listed as their wide receiver 1 today. That's the boy Drake London. He is plus 800 to win. Like, I could just see him. I mean, obviously last season we had Jamar Chase, right? And I don't think he's going to be Jamar Chase in any sense. But I could just see him, taking away every single target, even some targets from Kyle Pitts. Like, I could just see this dude, absolutely going off. Obviously, Ritter coming in halfway into the season or at some point during the season, is probably going to happen. So that might kind of affect his production. But, I mean, Drake London, I just think he's the most talented offensive player with the most opportunity right now.
Most definitely. Carson, you got the odd pick here. I mean, definitely a great player though. Out of the Ohio State University, not the guy who went first in that group, but the guy who went second. Probably going in a better system though. Talking about Chris Olave.
Yeah, I mean, same odds as London, and I think Olave can. Put up. I mean, he's not, wide receiver 1 on their depth chart. Michael Thomas is, and we'll get into him in a little bit. But I just think, I don't know. I'm definitely also pretty high on the Saints just because I feel like everyone's kind of, maybe fading them a little bit. New head coach, Winston starter, not really sure, whatever. But I think Olave could probably get the same amount of volume as London. And I think if he really contributes and they're like a really, really solid team, like a playoff, fringe playoff team. I think that would do it for, if their stats are close enough and Olave is helping, actually, helping win games, then I think he has a solid chance of winning it. But I mean, you guys make a valid point with, London, he might get way more targets, way more receptions, whatever. But I think their production is going to be a lot closer than you guys might think because we know Winston, baby, he's going to be airing it out. So
yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about him in a minute too. He comes up later in this. But, defensive rookie of the year. We got two guys only chosen because Carson and I went the same pick here. But I'll let Jose take it away with his guy, and then we'll dive into another beast. But this guy a beast as well. So Jose, what about Kayvon?
Man, you know I had to take Kayvon, bro. You know I had to take Kayvon. Absolutely perfect situation for him, I think. I mean, in that absolute, monster D line that they've got in New York, and he's just gonna baby these old linemen. Like, they're not gonna throw doubles at Kayvon. He's just gonna baby them. Like, just hit him with that little speed rush move that he does. He's gonna be a highlight reel every single week. I can just see him running away with it, just because he's gonna be a household name pretty quickly, I think.
No, yeah, for sure. But hey, I know Carson thinking this dude a household name as well, but take it away.
Well, real quick, I want to say about Kayvon, I think the Jets are really going to regret passing on him. I know Sauce Gardner is going to be really good too, but I really want the Jets to get Kayvon because, I agree with you, Jose. I think he's going to be a beast. But, me and Liam, we went with Kyle Hamilton. The fact that this dude who was, arguably the most talented player in the draft is going to a Ravens team where it's not like he has to be the guy. Like, he's just one of the guys in an already fantastic defense. They're great every year. Doesn't matter who's out there for them. You can just, put it in the bank, or take it to the bank that the Ravens will have a great defense. And I think this guy's just going to come in and with everybody around him, just show and he's got a chip on his shoulder. I mean, he fell to, what was it, the 10th pick, 11th pick or something like that?
It was late, 14.
I thought it was 14.
Or 14, 15. Exactly, though. But he's got that chip on his shoulder. He's coming 14, into a great system, and the Ravens are going to I know they're going to maximize every single drop of all the talent that this guy has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, take a look at it. If you get rid of Aaron Donald, this team produced two of the best defensive players in the last 2 decades of football with Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. I mean, shout out to you, of course. But, he's going to have the backing of those guys. I mean, Ed Reed, one of the most instinctive safeties we've seen ever play the game of football, with a guy in Kyle Hamilton, who's a generational talent coming out of Notre Dame. People, if this man did not run a slow 40-yard dash time, he would have been top 5. He would have been the first defensive back off the board. But things happen. It's a great situation for him. Like you said, playing with a chip on his shoulder, he might not – even if he doesn't have the best season, the storyline is going to fit perfectly with him. So I think that's a great pick there. Now moving into Offensive Player of the Year. Again, Chol and I tying with the guy. But, Jose, give me your guy CDTD Lamb. Tell me a little bit about him.
Look. Let me read you some numbers real quick. The last 2 seasons, Amari Cooper drew 234 targets. Right? Gone off the team. Wide receiver 2 right now on the depth chart, Jalen Tolbert. CeeDee Lamb for at least the first 5 games until Michael Gallup comes back. He's going to be Devontae Adams from last year. I'm not saying he's as good, but that's the exact same situation because it was Tay and it was whoever the fuck could get hot. He drew 120 targets last year with 1,100 yards. I don't see any world where he doesn't get at least 1,500 with 150 targets. Easily. It's just opportunity. It really just comes down to opportunity. And, coupled with his speed, and, we know Dak and him have an elite connection already. So I can just see him, dominating this season. Absolutely just dominating.
No, yeah. The Cowboys got to work the play action, especially with a stout run game being the main feature on this team with 2, high-level backs in Tony Pollard and Zeke Elliott. That can just make CD's day even better. But we got Dennis Carson. This guy could go for 2,000. He said he's doing it himself. One of the guys with the most swagger in the league. He's got some of the most appeal. And he's trying to shut people up, trying to say that him and Jamar are this close because he thinks it's a whole lot different. So tell us about Justin.
Circling back to, the first segment talking about, Kevin O'Connell, I think, this pairing is just, we saw what Kevin O'Connell, was cooking up for Cooper Kupp. And now you have, a guy in Justin Jefferson who, is probably the most talented receiver in the league. And I'm just like, I just cannot wait to see, what they cook up. And, knock on wood, he doesn't get injured or anything. But yeah, he legitimately could put up 2,000 yards and however many touchdowns and however many receptions. I do want to give Nick Chubb a little shout out. I was considering him just because kind of like similar to CeeDee Lamb, like who else is this offense going to run through? It's Nick Chubb's offense, and at least until Watson comes back. The first 11 games, like if he stays healthy, he really could be like this use like Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, where it's like, hey, everybody, hop on my back. I'm running for 100, 200 yards and a touchdown every game. Like, let's do this. But I just had to go in my heart. And in my heart, like, I just feel like Jettas is just going to be the most important, awesome offensive player this year. And if it's not this year, it's going to be one of the next couple years.
No, yeah. Safe bet to be the best receiver. Now we move in to another award, DPOY. We all got different players. I definitely had the highest on odds guide, but let's work our way from the top favorites to the bottom. So we'll start with Jose. Tell us about the Swiss Army knife himself. One of the most productive rookies we've seen in a while, with Micah Parsons.
Yeah. This guy is literally Deebo Samuel as a defender. Like, he can play absolutely anywhere. He could probably play safety if you needed him to. Like, I know you saw that video of him running with DBs and winning. Like, this guy's like a cool 260. He was second in Defensive Player of the Year voting last year. Obviously, he won Defensive Rookie of the Year. He is our captain on defense, and I think he finally knows that he's that guy on our team. Like, last year he was a rookie, he couldn't really come in and kind of, man it like that. But now, like, he knows I'm that guy. Like, he said it in interviews, like, this is my team, this is my defense. He refers to the defense as like we, and I mean, bro, I don't see it. Like, I see once Aaron Donald retires, I think Micah Parsons is going to take the reins. That's just like that absolutely dominant defensive player that every year is just in contention for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, I see that. Carson, take it away.
The same can be said about my guy, Nick Bosa. Just a slight homer pick, just a slight. But, I mean, he's officially 2 years removed from, that ACL reconstruction. Last year he had a great year, a year removed. Now we're 2 years out from, the surgery. Tons of reports coming out of camp. He's in the best shape of his career so far. Changed up his diet. He's eating more raw fish. He's ready to go. He's looking like a freaking beast out there. And, with this scheme, don't have Salah anymore, but, can still trust the Niners to, always have a great defensive scheme, while Shanahan's there. However many sacks Watt had last year, I think Bosa could at least match that, if not break it. I think he's that special. The rest of the D-line is really good on the Niners, where it's like you can't just double Bosa all the time. And he's just too good where he will always take advantage of a single team. And I'm just so excited for him this year. Like, it's his, fourth season now? Is it his fourth season?
Fourth, I think.
Yeah, his fourth year, right in the middle of his prime, if not even slightly before his prime. I'm super, super excited, and I'm going with Bosa.
Mm-hmm. So I got the wild ball pick here. I did it last year, and it absolutely flunked with Daniil Hunter. But I think this guy's a completely different dog when it comes to it, because he's made all-pro first team 3 of the 4 years he's been in the league. And that's, I'd say, Darius Leonard, but now apparently I've been informed he's rebranded. He's now Shaquille Leonard of the Indianapolis Colts. People forget how dominant this guy was in his rookie season. He led the league in tackles, had 7 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions, defensive rookie of the year, all pro.
He does everything.
He is an absolute beast, and he's playing in a very, very underrated defense this year. I was just talking about it with you guys before we got on, but you got DeForest Buckner. That's an all-pro first-team defensive lineman out there. You got Yannick Ngakoue, who just got traded there in a trade with the Raiders, who I think is an immense pickup for them. You got Kwity Paye coming off his rookie season. You got Stephon Gilmore, who obviously wasn't quite himself in Carolina. Who knows? It might be the team situation there, but that man won Defensive Player of the Year at cornerback, which we haven't seen in a long time. Kenny Moore, I think he's got a perfect situation around him, and he's a Swiss Army knife. I mean, he isn't putting up the sack numbers of a guy like, Micah Parsons or something like that, but I think he can truly be unlocked on this team. And, he's not played a lot of good offensive lines when he's facing these AFC South teams. The Texans, sure, they got Tunzel, but they don't got anyone outside of that. The Jacksonville Jaguars got no one. The Titans are diminishing. He should be an absolute feast in that division. And, I think it's finally going to be his breakout year where he gets some notoriety. Even though he's getting these all-pro first teams, people are just throwing that out there. And I know he's coming off an injury from camp, but I think he'll be fine. Give me the wild ball pick and Darius Leonard because, hey, if you bet on Micah Parsons to finish second in Defensive Player of the Year last year, I wonder what those odds would have been. Way more astronomical than plus 3,300, but I'll leave it as that.
Yeah, Leonard, he has some great odds. Those are really, really good odds.
Mm-hmm.
I think an underrated thing about Leonard, an underrated thing for his case for you, Liam, is they played the Texans twice. They played the Jags twice. They played the Titans twice. I'm not really that high on the Titans. I don't really think they're going to be all too great. They're in a weak division.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah. He also had 8 forced fumbles last year to lead the league, which is insane.
Yeah.
Now,
is he the best linebacker in the AFC?
It depends on how you want to say it, because what?
Yeah.
He might be.
He's up there. He's definitely up there.
Because Watt, you got to throw Watt in there because Watt's a linebacker technically.
Yeah.
No, he's top 3, no debate. I think
he's definitely up there.
Yeah.
He's got his case.
All right, but we got to circle back because we got some narratives from these other predictions we made. And I want to start with Carson because he picked a receiver from the Saints to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. And now he's got a comeback player from the Saints as well in Michael Thomas, who had one of the best wide receiver seasons we've ever seen until Cooper Kupp topped him. But tell me about Michael Thomas in this, return arc.
Yeah, why can't both the receivers get some hardware, in the offseason? Just the fact that Thomas, it's not like he missed just last year. He's missed 2 years in a row now. I think should just add to the storyline that, he's coming back from 2 years removed. And, he's finally coming in, pretty healthy. We know when he plays, it's only been 2 years, but it's felt like forever. When he's on the field, he is one of the best receivers, in the NFL. That's no debate. He proved that. He's top 5, 10, wherever you want to put him. He is one of the best receivers in the league. And similar to Olave, if he can, really put up 70-80% of, the seasons he was having before this 2-year hiatus, and, he can help get the Saints, close to the playoffs, if not in the playoffs. I think that'd be a really good pick. And he has decent odds too. Plus 1,200. That's pretty solid odds, especially because you know what you're getting from him when he is on the field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly. Jose, tell us about a guy who's got a week 1 matchup that may as well could win him this damn award at this point. So
look. Let me tell you the sad story of a guy who came out of college an absolute rock star, first overall pick in the class that had Josh Allen in it, and broke a generational Browns curse of QBs that, the list was so long, so many QBs that just absolutely pitiful, and led the Browns to an 11-5 season, 26 touchdowns and 8 interceptions in 2020, after having Hugh Jackson get fired and have an interim who knows where he's at now, Greg Williams.
Freddie Kitchens.
Had Freddie Kitchens. And finally, he had Stefanski in 2020. In 2021, played with a torn labrum. And obviously, he was pretty bad. They traded him away, and now the league wants to act like he's just a bum. Like the league absolutely wants to just dismiss this man. He's only 26. Like he hasn't even started his prime yet. Most QBs enter their prime around like 27 to 30, unless your name is Tom Brady. But he's finally healthy, and we know Baker balls out when he's got that chip on his shoulder. Like that's just who Baker is. And I mean, he said it himself. He's gonna fuck up the Browns week 1. I think the league falls in love with Baker again this year. Like, I just don't know how everyone's writing him off when we know he played with a torn labrum. This dude broke a curse that no one else can break, not even Manziel. Like, I don't know. I think Baker's that guy. Hopefully, he can play well on the Panthers. This is a team that made Darnold look good for 4 weeks. So, I think he's a massive upgrade over Darnold. People are acting like on the same tier as Darnold.
Nah, most definitely not.
So, yeah.
You already know Baker Mayfield listening to Many Men by 50 Cent as he's walking onto the field. Many men want to kill me. You know how. So I'll dive into mine. I got Jameis Winston, a guy who himself has been counted out. Had that 30-30 season. People thought, man, this guy's just like a gunslinger, doesn't give any care. Now, he went over to the Saints. Had that season where he was under Drew Brees, then kind of had that weird season last year where he got injured. And then now he's back. He's fully healthy. They gave him some weapons. Like we said, we got Olave. We got MT fully healthy. The Ohio State connection there. I don't know. I feel like Jameis Winston's he had a hot start last year. I think he threw 5 touchdowns in their week 1 win over Green Bay.
Yeah.
Weirdly in Jacksonville for some flooding reasons. But man, I think he can actually come out there. He's got Kamara as well. I mean, sure, this team lost Sean Payton, but they got one of his disciples. And I don't know. I think the Saints are still one of the most talented rosters in football. You just got to hope Trevor Penning doesn't throw his defender at Jameis Winston's legs, but who knows? He could be eating them crab legs. NFC champion.
That's a W. We eating W's.
He eating W's. So we'll see. But I mean, at plus 500, it's not the craziest risk of bets as he's, I believe, second on odds behind Derrick Henry. But I don't know. Give me Jameis. I like it. So
yeah, love it.
And shout out Brian Robinson for already being comeback player of the year odds at plus 550 though.
So wild to me.
Man, really about to pull the Paul Pierce and come back and play.
Yeah. Imagine if he actually wins it though.
That'd be sick. I mean, one of the craziest stories in football history. All right, so let's dive into MVP 09 all the way to 16. Jose, tell us about the guy. He's odds-on favorite, Mr. Josh Allen, kicking it off. I mean, the time you're seeing this in a couple hours, so tell us about him.
I mean, he's the favorite for a reason. I just can't not pick him. I feel like looking back, we're gonna be like, wow, this was the best offensive team in football, led by the best offensive threat in football. It's Josh Allen. He's got the legs of a workhorse running back with the arm of an absolute god, and he's got one of the best connections with the top 5 receiver in the league, Stephon Diggs. He's got Dawson Knox, who just got extended.
Yes,
they got James Cook, who can hopefully be somewhat like Dalvin Cook. That would be insane.
That would be great, dude.
I mean,
80%, bro.
Dude, 80% of Dalvin Cook is like a Pro Bowl running back, especially for a team that's had to start Zach Moss. Yeah, but I mean, Aaron Rodgers just won it twice in a row. Like, let's give it to one of the young bucks, and why not Josh Allen?
Exactly. Even if Rodgers had an MVP season this year, he entirely would deserve it for losing Devontae Adams, but they just won't vote him in. There's nowhere they will.
Oh, fuck.
They just gonna blame him for him tripping off something the whole time. So you know how it'd be.
Smoking DMT on the field.
You know how it'd be. Hey,
you got Joe Rogan.
Another guy though. Speaking of Rodgers, who lost his top receiving option. Well, actually, it depends. Depends who you want to say is the top receiving option on that team, though. But tell me about Patty.
Yeah, man. I think Mahomes is gonna have like his, Curry moment this year. I think maybe writing off the Chiefs a little bit because division got way better. They lost Tyreek Hill, but I'm just so all in on the Chiefs. I just love the fact that Tyreek Hill gone and they just use that capital on the offensive line. And I think Patrick Mahomes with, a really, really good offensive line is going to be super scary. He's going to have, ideally, he only needs a couple seconds, but if you're giving this man, 5-6 seconds to throw, he's going to find somebody. And now I think, even though they don't have the guy like Hill, I think the receiving core is deeper this year. You're talking about still have Kelsey, Juju, we'll see if you get anything from Valdez Scaling. I think, everybody coming out of camp really likes Sky Moore. I'm just, the fact that Patrick Mahomes, arguably the best quarterback in the league, won a Super Bowl in his second year starting, is getting a really, really good offensive line now is really scary. And I think he has a massive season, proves that it was, didn't really need Tyreek Hill in the first place. And I think if he doesn't win the MVP, he's going to be holding that Super Bowl MVP at the end of the season. So that's still my regular season pick as well. I'm going with Patty Mahomes. And also redemption from whatever the heck happened in the AFC Championship game against the Bengals. I think Mahomes has been thinking about that all offseason and is coming for blood because that was weird. That was really weird.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. You're not going to let Joe Burrow walk away with it. Crazy thing to think about. Mahomes won an MVP when we were still in high school. 2018.
Yeah.
I know.
Crazy. That's the last time he won an MVP. But
these young quarterbacks, these young bucks are getting old on us, man.
I know. He turns 20.
How old is he now?
He turns 27 on the 17th.
That's not old, though. That is not old at all.
But still, I mean, when he come in here, his first year he was like 23, 24.
He ain't no Jason Tatum. He ain't still 22 or 21, whatever he is. But
he's only 20?
He only 20? Yeah, exactly. 19. Well, speaking of young bucks, though, young QBs, there's no one better than the man with the wave, the flow out there in LA. Give me Justin Herbert. I mean, I feel like I don't know how he's not the favorite because I feel like everyone's betting on this guy to win. I mean, he's got one of the most consistent receivers in the NFL in Keenan Allen. He's got himself
and one of the most inconsistent in Mike Williams.
Inconsistent, but maybe one of the most talented receivers in the NFL in Mike Williams. He's got a bunch of other supporting casts of Austin Eckler. I mean, I talked about this earlier with my Brandon Staley rant, but I think this guy simply is going to assert himself. We're going to see the duel between him and Patrick Mahomes 2 times this year, hopefully even more if it goes to the playoffs. But I don't know. I think he's got that. He's about to show that, sure, he can put up the stats and all that stuff, but he's going to back it up with some wins and some hardware to go with it. So plus 900, Herbie to win MVP. Man, I wish I had this man in fantasy because I think he's going to be an absolute unit this year because he threw for 5,000 yards.
He's getting drafted too high. That's
the one thing.
Actually, who am I to talk? I drafted Mahomes like right around.
Yeah, we took Mahomes. That's wild.
Yeah, he threw for 5,000 yards, 38 touchdowns. He has 69 career touchdowns through 2 seasons. That's insane. Going to his year 24 season, age 24 season. He about to say, man, y'all saying Joe Burrow better than me? Man, he's going to come out with some vengeance. I mean, sure, Joe Shiesty cold and all, but he got to come out with something. So,
dude, there was like a cool 3 games last year that the Chargers lost that were absolutely not his fault. Like, just terrible on the coaching staff, the defense.
The Raiders game, the end of the season, where he was on fire on those 4th down. That man was leading the franchise. But without further ado, any other things to mention before we head out?
After tomorrow night.
Who are you taking?
Give me the Bills. Let me get Cup with the TD though.
Yeah, that's really tough. Yeah, give me the Bills. Give me the Bills.
Give me the Rams. Tre'Davious White's out. I know they got the best safety duo in the league back there in Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde. Not even the hot wives can stop them boys, Allen Robinson and Cooper Kupp, though. I don't care if Van Jefferson out. They're going to go off. So give me the Rams at home.
Okay.
They're underdogs at home. Super Bowl champs.
Hopefully it's a fireworks game, though. Hopefully. I don't want to see no boring-ass first game. Then I'm just going to be discouraged.
Nah, they definitely got to rig it, bro. Someone's got to rig it for us.
I got to see like an overtime game or something.
Oh, yeah. I want to see 51, 53, type shit with the prime time from a couple years ago.
Chiefs Rams from 2017 or whatever that was, 2018.
2018, yeah. Infamous game. All right, well, appreciate y'all, boys. And as always, we'll be back. And we got to do the week 1 recap coming up next week. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of conclusions to jump into, because who knows? I might have some dude that's about to put 40 points up on my bench right now, and I don't even want to think about that because it's going to be like Jacoby Myers for some reason. So we all know some BS happens. But without further ado, Coast Coast Podcast, signing out. Peace.